we have a lot of years of experience creating affordable housing. And, unfortunately, we all look around today and we say, why is there an affordable housing crisis? Why? Well, because government stopped investing in affordable housing at the federal level in 1984 and at the province 1995. And that's why we look around today and we say, oh my God, our kids can't afford to buy a home, our kids can't afford to rent a home. And so what we're trying to do today, Nouman, is really create the pathways that government can look at and say, hey, that makes sense, that can be done. But at the root of it, it takes investment. Now, in terms of our team, and many of our team members are here today, we have over the years developed this ability to listen and translate what we hear into buildings, but more important than that, into community.
So one of the things I'm quite taken by in your book is there is a composition. There's a groove that you lay down.
A groove, man.
And so my colleague and friend, Hilary Austin, who wrote a book called Artistry Unleashed, in that she talks about the artistry process. And she said it sort of looks like craft. Right? There's a lot of burnt Picassos before you got to see the one at the Louvre or at the Met or at the ROM or the AGL. Talk to us about the finessing of that, because it's a beautiful book. Talk to us about the difficulties and some of the growth that you and your team and the community, and central to me in that craft is trust. Trust that you instantiated.
Well, trust is at the root of everything that we do in collaboration and partnership. Without that, there's nothing. And for us, and all of our team members that are here know this, that it's being there. It's not being in the ivory tower. It's not being at home up in the C-suite or at the office. It's being on the ground in community is the way to build trust. Show face. Show that you're there, you care, you're listening, you're responding, and then you're actually taking action. It's not just listen and go away and say, oh, well, whatever. But it's listening and then taking action and demonstrating that as a result of hearing what people are saying, action can happen and great outcomes can come from that.
One of the things that also strikes me about your book is there are a lot of heroes that many ethnographies don't capture. You had a conversation with somebody in the community named Sakina. And tell us about that encounter and what that led to. We saw some of the beautiful art.
So yeah, you saw Sakina and her quilting team putting together the first quilt. So what happened, Nouman, is, so I'm on the ground in Regent Park doing what I do, walking down the street. I'm walking along Dundas Street and I see a woman walking towards me and I stop and I say, hello, my name's Mitchell Cohen. I'm the president, CEO of Daniels Corporation. Who are you? And we got into a conversation and she said, my name is Sakina Hanam. I'm from Bangladesh. My husband passed away recently, and I have no ability to bring any money into our household, none. And we keep talking, and I say, Sakina, I mean, do you have hobbies? Like, what do you do? Like, tell me a little bit more about your life. And she began telling me about her sewing circle. And she's talking to me about the fact that her friends and her get together, they make quilts for each other, they give them as gifts. They make baby quilts whenever there's a kid born in their community. And they give quilts as gifts. There's no monetary exchange. But then that was a moment that was so important because in that moment, this light switch goes on. Oh my God, what have we been doing in the way we have spent our money up until that moment in time? Because we're building buildings. We're building rental buildings, condo buildings, all kinds of buildings. And in every one of those buildings, as some of you may know who might live in those buildings, there's art on the walls. There's art in the common areas. There's art in the elevator lobby. There's all kinds of ability to purchase things for these buildings. And we had been doing what the traditional approach would have been. We have money in our budget. We hire an interior designer. The designer goes out and fills up the spaces with art that they get from who knows where. Actually, we do know, but I don't have to say. From wherever. But what they're not doing is spending the money with intention. Not spending the money to actually build capacity within a community. And so that was the light switch that came on that, like, holy shit. If we turned this around and said, Sakina, we're going to commission a quilt. and you work to think through with your colleagues, your buddies, what that should be. Here's where we're going to hang it. And so it can be whatever size within that space in the lobby of a condominium building. First condominium building we did in phase 2. And Sakina's eyes light up and it was like, oh my God. And she went back to her friends. They invited Hila and I over. We went over, we sat with them, we hung out on the floor, we looked at photographs. They served the best chicken biryani ever. Food goes with everything in terms of those kind of gatherings. And then out of that, Hila continued to work with the sewing circle. The day that we unveiled that very first quilt, it's called Regent Park, A Love Poem. Mm-hmm. And that love poem talks about the old Regent Park and the new Regent Park. And it hangs today in the lobby of one of our condominiums called Paintbox Condominium. We unveiled that. Sakina and her sewing, quilting women unveiled it at a moment when we were having this sort of welcome to all of the condo owners coming to a new community. And Sakina gives a speech about how important it is to share her work with newcomers and welcoming newcomers to her community. Everybody was bawling their eyes out. It was something. But since that moment, every dollar that we can spend locally, we spend locally. Local caterers, art, etc. We find every possible way to invest in local economic development.